we're not live yet. We are live.
Hey, y'all.
Hi, guys. Welcome back. It is our third week here on the Families of Character page, where we have gone live on social media to talk about all things parents, really.
All things parents,
Yeah.
the parent tribe.
That's right.
It's Love Week, y'all.
It is Love Week. But real quick, before we talk about Valentine's Day, because that is going to be our topic this week, if you have been joining us for the past 3 weeks, this is our third week going live on the Families of Character social media platforms. And so we just wanted to extend our gratitude. We just want to keep showering you guys with love. We appreciate the shares, the likes, the commenting, everything that comes along. You're helping us grow our online tribe. And that's really our purpose. If this is the first time that you're joining us, our purpose here on the Families of Character page is to really grow our online tribe of parents who want to create kind kids, helpful kids, considerate kids, kids that think about others, and really just who have good character. So that's our purpose for being here live and coming on every Tuesday at 11:30 Mountain Standard Time.
Yes.
We're building that online community.
Woohoo!
Right, Jordan?
Yes, it's so exciting. We already see a couple of you watching and tuning in. So shoot us a couple of thumbs up or give us
Hey, Stephanie.
throw a heart out there. Remember, it's Love Week. Happy Love Week.
She is all about it.
Happy love. We love love.
You are cracking
Love
me
and
up.
helpfulness.
You
It's
are cracking me
awesome.
up. Yeah. So if you guys remember last week, we talked about how to get your kids to clean their room, or essentially how to get them to help with chores around the house.
Oh yeah,
Yep.
pitching in.
Yeah, we talked a lot about getting them to be more helpful. So if you had any parent wins from the past week, please throw that up there in the comments and we will mention them. And so we just want to hear.
We
right?
do. We want to hear. Did you have some conversations? Did you
Julie.
have... Oh, look at my mother-in-law. She said, we're an asset to kids, parents, and families. Isn't that nice? We're just spreading the love. That's really what we're doing. We're trying to inspire parents and get them on the same page and just really reach out and be that support for you as you're parenting your kids. And
It's hard.
it's hard.
Parenting is a hard gig. I mean, if you guys remember, I've got 4 of my own kids, and
I've got 3.
they're all, in different spans of life, and they all have different needs. And so that's why we, again, wanted to create this online tribe. So please, let's use each other to grow our resources, to bounce ideas off of each other, and just to really to learn from each other, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. We don't want to do this alone.
No, we don't. We don't. So what are we going to talk about this week, Jordan?
Tell us, y'all, what is Valentine's Day like in your home?
It's Valentine's Day week. So everyone has a different rendition of Valentine's Day. We've kind of been talking about it for the past week, and we thought we want to hear from you guys. So
How do you celebrate?
What are you doing for Valentine's Day?
Let me just say one thing.
I'm listening.
Not everybody is a fan of Valentine's Day. So let's not make that assumption out there, right? Like,
So I thought, honestly, before we started this conversation a week ago, I literally thought that really it's a holiday that's really not celebrated by many people. But Jordan has proved me wrong.
we like to celebrate Valentine's Day in a different way.
Yeah.
So at our house, how we celebrate Valentine's Day is we do a double date with some of our best friends. So we've been doing this for like 10 years, right, Kelly? And we go to a fancy restaurant and treat ourselves, and we try a new restaurant. And then every year we go through and we talk about all the restaurants we've been to and which are our favorites. It's super fun.
That does sound fun.
But we celebrate, as a double date. So
Some people like to go out to dinner. Some people like flowers. Some people like candy. Some people like notes. Me and my husband, we've been married for 15 years. We don't really celebrate Valentine's Day.
say more about that.
Oh yeah, it's just not really something in our house that I've ever put much weight on. It tends to fall in the middle of the week. I like routine. I don't like my routine disrupted.
We have no time to celebrate love.
No, but really, I don't know. I just think that it's one of those things. I think the reason why Valentine's Day is so popular, and you guys correct me if I'm wrong, okay? I'm gonna give her a little wave. There we go. Thanks for watching us on Instagram. The reason, though, I think that Valentine's Day is such a popular holiday in our culture is because it's a day where people stop and they are intentional to show their love towards their significant other or their spouse, right?
Yes, absolutely.
So it's a day where, let's say my love language is gifts.
Yes.
It's a day where my husband can give me gifts.
Right.
But, I just think that that's why Valentine's Day is so popular. I guess is what I'm trying to say.
It's all about intention.
It is. It's about being intentional about your love for your significant other. So, in my opinion, I think the reason why I don't love to celebrate Valentine's Day all that much is because I really want my habits, I guess.
Yes.
That's what I'm trying to say. I really want my love to show for my husband 365 days a year.
Ooh.
Not just one day.
Boom.
Right?
Yes.
I think it's more helpful if, hey Charity, we're talking about Valentine's Day.
Yes.
So welcome. I think it's more helpful to show your spouse your love for them in various different ways throughout the year, not just on
a regular
one
basis.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not just on one day.
It's really cool for people who like to kind of amp it up a bit, if you will, to celebrate Valentine's Day, even if they're already like showing love on a consistent basis, right? So I guess it could go both ways.
It could.
Right?
It could.
Totally. That's what I love about this. There's just no judgment how you spend your Valentine's Day. If you include your kids, if you do something with a friend, maybe you go out to dinner with a single friend, it's just a day of love. And when I think about love, I also think about helpfulness, really. And that's what we're talking about here on our Families of Character page with parenting and between you and your spouse. And so,
but I want to more specifically, because we're talking about Valentine's Day.
yeah.
I really more specifically want to talk about how are you helpful towards your spouse?
Okay, let's go down that
Because
route.
let me remind you, last week we talked about how to get your kids to be more helpful, how to get them to do their chores, what are some tips and tricks for getting your kids involved in helping around the house.
Right.
So I think that's one level of helpfulness.
True.
And then I also think, though, there's a different level of helpfulness within your relationship with your spouse. And so because it's being Valentine's Day, we thought we'd talk about that this week. You are gonna...
I love the props. I love the props. This is so me.
It is. She's even got a Valentine's Day scarf on.
Right?
Too.
Well, yeah, it has a little Valentine hashtag somewhere in here. It's
She told me to wear pink, and I said no.
She's not into pink. We're not the same.
No,
It's
we're
great.
not the same.
It's
even
great.
though we are in so many other ways.
Right? It's kind of like your spouse. You're not the same as your spouse. That's why you complement each other well.
That is a good point.
Right?
Yes, yes.
So let's go on and how we can be helpful to our spouse.
I want to know,
one
Jordan,
thing.
how you are helpful to your spouse, Josh. Well, I'm surprised he's not
You know
watching
what?
yet.
Is he? Is he
No,
on?
he's not yet.
Okay. Well, I'm going to just start with how I'm not helpful to Josh. Okay.
This should be good.
Oh, I've got to admit my faults, right? I mean, that's part of this whole tribe. Let's talk about our struggles. Let's talk about our realities. And one of the ways that I'm not helpful is when I'm caught up in my own thing. This happens on the
Life of a
regular,
mom.
folks. It happens on the regular. I'm
Life of
running
a
the
mom.
family in terms of being the project manager with what's going on at the house, and chores have to be done, and I've got my list of to-dos. And man, when my husband wants my attention, he wants me to just sit down with him, Sarah.
Like have a conversation with you?
Right. I have full-on conversation, like eye to eye. I will just leave the conversation in the middle of it, and because I heard, well, hello, the washer went off. So if the washer dings, that means it is no time wasting. We got to get the laundry from the washer
You can't
to the dryer.
forget.
Right.
By the way, if you're joining us today, you'll notice that we're in Jordan's house, not my
Yes.
house. We've been in my kitchen for the past couple weeks, and this week we're in Jordan's house because she's got a sick kiddo. But I'm looking out onto their kitchen into their laundry room, and it's a long walk.
Yeah, and you're imagining, like, you're just sitting here, we're having a conversation,
Yeah.
and off I go, and you're looking at my back,
Uh-huh.
and I'm
Totally.
like hollering from the laundry room. Oh yeah. Oh no, I think we definitely should do that. And he's like, what? I can't hear you.
It's
Not helpful. Really. It's the opposite
No.
of helpfulness, or the vice of helpfulness. I love the word vice.
I do too.
I love the word vice. Speaking of vices,
Your coffee.
coffee's one too. But the vice of helpfulness is selfishness, right? Like the opposite. It's like when
Yeah.
I'm just into my own thing, I am not tuned into you, so I'm not helping.
Right.
Oh my goodness, friend, help me.
Well,
Help me.
I don't know if I can help you very much because you want to know what my vice is.
Tell me.
When when I'll tell you guys. So let me just paint this picture for you. My vice is, well, let me back up a little bit. Okay, hold the phone 1 second. Okay, so my husband Donnie and I, we made a decision when we started having kids that he would work full time and I would work part time.
Right.
Okay,
That's good.
and my part time job, I work from home. Okay, now what is really difficult for me, because I really enjoy working, so my vice is I work too much
Ooh, yeah.
on a part-time job.
That part-time.
Yeah. So that is my vice, right? And I can get really caught up in all of this. And the reason being is because I'm an extrovert
Oh, yeah.
and my husband is an introvert.
He's definitely an introvert. He likes that time to like go inside of himself
He does.
with the quiet to recharge, right?
He does. But let me tell you how my vice of being selfish with me working, my part-time job in more than part-time manner, is it's not helpful for him, because when I'm caught up on my phone, on my laptop, I don't know about you guys out there, but the absolute worst time of day for me is the time when I pick my kids up from school, in between that time and dinner.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Oh, the crazy that happens during that time, the chaos.
And that is typically the time when I really want to tune out and I just want to retreat into my work. Hop on my computers. I did this actually last night.
Oh.
Hop on my computer, send a few emails, let my kids transition into home.
Oh, man, I got a
But-
good picture of this, because while you're like check in, doing my little things, entering my orders, crazies happen in the background. 4 kids, little baby up and down the steps.
Yeah.
Like Reese, Anya,
She's
Jonah.
flailing her arms.
Right. That's what it's like back here. And
cracking me up today.
and who's taking care of
No
who's
one.
taking care of them?
No one. They're getting their own.
Donnie.
No, because he's not home yet.
Oh, he's not home yet.
No,
Oh,
they're
so
getting
it's
their
really
own
wheel
snacks.
fall.
They're spilling cereal on the floor. They're eating everything out of the refrigerator, so there's no order to any of it. And we're gonna eat dinner in 20 minutes anyway.
Right.
So this is my advice. I know you guys, it's taken a really long time for me to explain. I'm getting to a point.
She's
Okay.
got a point.
So he comes home in this chaos, right? And I just want to send these 2 emails. And he walks in, and the house has like blown
Tornado.
up.
There's a
And
hurricane.
there's dishes that needed to be loaded, and dinner needs to be started, and all this stuff. And it's not happening.
You're busy.
Yeah. So and I thrive off of my busyness, and then he just totally deflates because he's been at work all day talking.
Yes.
For his job, he has to talk a lot. And he comes in and he just needs a little bit of downtime, and he can't even have that downtime because he walks into utter chaos. So that is my vice of helpfulness. That is not helpful.
Right.
Yeah.
That's selfishness.
Yeah.
I hate to bust you out on that, but it is. It's
I
just like
know.
my walking away with my back to him, right?
I know. But remember, we're talking about we want to be helpful 365 days a year. Hi, Stephanie.
Yes.
Not just one day on Valentine's Day.
Oh, yeah.
So, I don't know, Jordan.
Absolutely. Well, okay, so let's talk about this. Really helping our spouses, right? We're going to give a little shout out to our spouses because it's Love Week. So we're going to focus
They
our
know
efforts.
we're talking about them.
Yes.
So
we're going to
they
focus
know.
our efforts this week in particular. Like maybe you haven't been very helpful or loving towards your spouse for a long time for whatever reason. And so you can kind of kickstart it back this week after hearing this, right? How can you do things to help your spouse? one of the things that I find that happens is a keeping tabs sort of thing or a scoreboard, right? Like, well, I did this. Well, I've done 3 loads of laundry in the last 2 days and nobody is helping me. But we're talking about like giving love, like a gift of yourself. It's like, I'm going to do something for you because I care about you and I can just tell that it will make a difference for you.
Yeah, and I don't think that the scoreboard mentality is really helpful for your kids to see.
Oh, no. No. Because then what do you hear? Well, Parker didn't have to do that, or I took the trash out 3 weeks in a row. Oh, yeah, we do not want to be modeling that.
No, because your kids learn helpfulness from the way that you and your spouse are helpful to each other, right?
True story. Yep, that's the truth.
Yeah.
Modeling, right?
Yeah.
So basically just helping your spouse by, one, being tuned in, not your back to him, not your computer in front of you.
Not your phone.
Right.
I'm really bad at that.
But being aware of their body language, right? Like, what's going on? Could I be helpful? Could I serve them in some way that will make a big difference?
And even if it's just, it doesn't have to be a big thing.
No, a small thing. So talk about how you've been helpful. What do you do? Because you don't celebrate Valentine's Day like in a big way, but just kind of on the regular, what do you think that you offer Donnie in the way of being helpful?
On a regular basis?
Yeah.
One thing, actually, I talk about this a lot, and my friends kind of think I'm crazy, but one of the things is I make his lunch every day for work.
No.
I do.
You know why I said
weird?
that?
Do
I
you
think
that's
it's
weird?
awesome. And I do it too. Not all the time. Sometimes I forget.
You make Josh's lunch?
Oh, yeah.
I don't ever meet anyone who makes lunch for their spouse. Every time I bring it up, people are like,
right.
Why would you do that? Like,
He's a grown man.
He can make his own. But I don't know. I just feel like over the past, actually it did start out as a selfish thing for me because when we were first married, I didn't want him to spend any money.
Oh.
And it was actually fairly easy for him to go buy lunch because where he worked had lunch. So we could just walk down to the cafeteria and get lunch. But so it started as a selfish thing for me.
Fair enough.
And I didn't want him to spend the money. But then over time, what I saw happen is it actually became super helpful for him because if his day gets packed with meetings, then he doesn't have time to go grab something, or he just has it right there.
Right.
And he doesn't have to think about it, right?
Absolutely.
So over the past 15 years, he's actually, he's expressed gratitude towards that because it's super helpful for him.
Oh, yeah. I agree.
So, but you make your Josh's lunch?
Oh, yeah. I make his lunch. Yeah.
That's
and he
so funny.
loves it when I make his lunch because he doesn't have to think about it, right? Like,
yeah.
He has a job where he's crunching numbers and he's interacting with clients all day. And, like, that's just not something I personally want him to have to worry about. So if he doesn't have a lunch meeting, then I'll pack his lunch. I'm not saying like I'm putting in a special note every day or anything. I mean, that would be
I just
awesome.
like pull leftovers and stick them in the bag.
Right. Like, let's not get this twisted. We're not just like perfect spouses here at all.
No.
But just doing
this salad is almost dead.
Right. Oh, wait. Now this is getting funny. Did you two know that you're eating all the leftovers and we count on you to eat the lunch we packed for you?
My husband's not on social media, so he'll never find out.
Right. They do appreciate it. Even if it's leftovers, Josh could eat leftovers for like 8 days straight and never complain.
Oh, good.
I love it.
Good. That's funny though. I honestly never come across anyone who does that for their spouse. So I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Stephanie? I remind my husband to make his lunch so he doesn't go the day without lunch.
Perfect.
Yeah.
I love that. Even just a reminder to say, honey, don't forget to make your lunch, or don't forget to put in some snacks. Who wants a hangry husband when it's dinner time anyway? Hungry and angry is not good. So, right? But what are some other ways? Pop on here. Let's do something helpful for your husband.
Whoops, are we still live?
Or your significant other, or your wife, or your girlfriend, or your child, right? Like, what can you do that's helpful? Pop on here. What do we see? We see some, hey, Melissa. Allie.
Yeah, wave back at them.
Hey! Yeah. We're talking about helping. Love Week. What can you do that's helpful, right?
Oh my gosh. All
What
right.
can you do that's helpful?
So you know how we always do, okay, so, Shauna says, I don't make his lunch, but I will try to make sure there is food prepped in the fridge for him. That's a good
awesome.
one. You guys, if your comments are really long, they get cut off. So what we read is what we, out loud is what we can see. So I apologize that we can't read I buy him food he would like to eat for lunch.
Good. We're talking a lot about lunch, but it is lunchtime for most of us, right? Like here, it's
kind of funny.
It's almost noon, and wherever you are, it's
know.
getting close to lunchtime.
Yeah. So, you know, last week or in the first 2 weeks we were live, we always want to hear about parent wins, which is great. But this week, let's hashtag spouse win.
Oh yeah, definitely.
What's a spouse win for you guys? Oh, Melissa, that's awesome. I call them throughout the day just to say hi. I do think that is really helpful because I think it's really easy to get bogged down through the stress of work.
Oh yeah.
And then for someone to just reach out, and I mean, you don't obviously have time to have a long conversation.
Sure.
But just a quick text, just to check in. I don't like Donnie does that to me quite a bit because he knows I run from one thing to the next with all the different kids. So he calls or texts me and just checks in. So that's awesome too.
You know what else I love about that is like if you send a little text here and there throughout the day, you can kind of be doing those little touch points where you find out, oh, plans have changed. I needed to see a client, so I have to stay a little later. And so then that leads to, if you're listening and attentive to them, then that really leads to, okay, how could I help this person? How can I help my spouse? How can I...
Right, something unplanned came up, so
Right.
now what do they need?
Yeah,
Or how my expectations are going to shift when I walk through the door.
absolutely.
Yeah. There's your little Annie.
Oh, hey girl. I got a sick one.
She's coming.
I know, Lovey. It's okay. It's okay.
Oh, no.
Sarah might have to be...
I might have to wrap this up.
Okay, Sarah.
So, okay, honoring his love language. I love that. She's going to take off and I'm going to wrap this up. So, I mean, sometimes we just have to be flexible, right? So we want to hear your spouse wins throughout the week. It is Valentine's Day week. So hashtag those. Please, please, please share this. Share it on your Facebook feed. We are just, like I said in the beginning, we are just trying to create more of an online tribe. And the way to do that organically is for you guys to share it. So please do that. What else did I want to say about all of this? Actually, right when Annie came up, there's something I was going to say. But moral of the story is love is a gift of self. I mean, bottom line, that's what Valentine's Day is about, right? And so really, how can, through being helpful and doing little things around the house or little things for your spouse throughout the week or throughout the day, on any given day, not just Valentine's Day, you know, how can you give yourself as a gift of self? So we're going to wrap up with that, or I'm going to wrap up with that. We've had lots of connection issues. So we hope on Instagram, we hope that you have been able to stay with us. We hope there was a connection issue on my phone with Facebook. So next week, actually, this is really cool. Last week, a parent reached out to us through a DM, and she wanted to talk about how to get our kids to respect each other more. And so that's what we're going to talk about next week. So please, please, please join us next week. We're going to talk about how your kids, no matter what their age is, can respect each other more. So I'm going to leave you guys with that. Happy Valentine's Day. I'll pull in Jordan. I'll pull in her little prop. Happy Valentine's Day to you guys. And we hope that you kind of engaged your brain a little bit through today's discussion, and you can think about how to be more helpful to your spouse. Thank you, Colleen. She says she enjoyed it. And then we'll see you next week. Don't forget, 11:30 Mountain Standard Time on Tuesdays, Families of Character page. So thanks, guys, so much. Bye-bye.